problem is I don't know a Christian like that. I've never met a Christian who just says I follow Jesus as a prophet. I've never met one.
Well, no, I mean, as a
so if you're saying that's the if you're saying that's the true Christianity, in spite of the fact that we can't find any Christians like that, I could say, well, the true Islam is belief that Jesus died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead and claimed to be divine and the Trinity, but it's been corrupted since then.
I think you misunderstood a little bit. I think you misunderstood.
Okay.
I'm mentioning this as a purely Islam, from an Islamic point of view.
Okay.
Saying that is of true follower of Christ, and not in an Islamic view in the Quran, which it says, true follower of Christ, and God knows himself, because I can't tell you who's going to go to heaven or who's going to go to hell. That's just that's my thing.
Okay, but Ahmed, what you're telling us is, in a truly Islamic view, one who is a Christian is essentially a Muslim, because he does not believe that Jesus is God in the flesh, is the Son of God who died on the cross and raised again on the third day. So that's no difference whatsoever than saying that he's a Muslim. That's not Christianity. So tell us again. We're saying Surah 385, you say it's purely spiritual. And we agree with you that unless someone submits to Allah, and in this case, in this context, in your Quran, it means Islam. The Arabic word here is al-Islam. It's talking about the true religion in your mind of Islam, where Jesus is nothing but a prophet. Unless you believe that way, you're going to be one of the losers. I agree with you. It says that Christians or Jews are going to hell. The verse that you gave us in Surah Al-Baqarah seems to tell us that Jews and Christians and Sabians, you'll have to tell us who that is, are going to go to heaven if we believe the right thing. It seems to me that we have a clear contradiction here. Either explain away the contradiction or tell us which verse we're supposed to follow, because it seems to be one's black and one's white.
And Ahmed, just let me add briefly and then we'll let you continue. I'd like to compare your methodology with the methodology we find in the Quran, because your method of interpretation is, I have this verse saying that if you believe in all these other religions, it's fine. You can go ahead and go to heaven. And another verse saying, unless you follow Islam, you're going to hell. And you say, that other verse must be, spiritualizing it. In other words, you can follow all kinds of other religions. You could follow Judaism. You could follow Christianity. As long as in your heart you're a Muslim, as long as in your heart you're following the path of Islam and you're submitted to God, you're fine. That's not the classical way of Islamic interpretation. The classical method of Islamic interpretation is, if this verse says one thing and another verse says something different, the one that came later abrogates or cancels the one that comes earlier. So following the classical method of interpretation, you'd have to say, well, this verse says you can follow all kinds of other religions, and this other verse says you only follow Islam. That's the only religion God's going to accept. The classical method of Islamic interpretation would be, well, that other one is canceled. It's done. During Muhammad, before people received the message of Islam, you could go to heaven by following these. But now that Islam is established and has spread, now you must submit to Islam or you're going to go in hell. In fact, Muhammad himself said that if you're a Jew and you hear Islam preached and you reject it, you're going to hell. So you can't be a Jew. You can't be a Jew if you reject the message of Muhammad.
Okay, Ahmed.
That in this fact, that a true Christian. Now, I mean, well, let's not. I mean, it can go on forever and ever. But this idea that if, even from this verse, let's say this. I mean, this verse that you've given me. Verse Surah 3, verse 85. In your opinion, is this verse in any way or form a violent or anti-Semitic one?
Oh no, we weren't bringing up 385 as anti-Semitic or violent towards others. We were bringing it up as because we knew where you were going. We knew where you were going with 262, saying that Islam, hey, everyone's okay with Allah according to Islam.
Right.
See,
now you as a minister can tell me that if I do not believe that Jesus Christ died for my sins and He is our Savior, that I will be eternally damned in hellfire, and that's correct.
That's absolutely right. Yes, sir.
True. Right?
Yes, and not just you, but David and myself and all the Jews, all the people who call themselves Christians, Muslims, Baha'i, Hindus, whoever else on the face of the earth, everyone is born on our way to hell unless we have a Savior, Jesus Christ the righteous.
Okay, well, I mean, these topics, I believe maybe on a later show we can go a little bit in depth.
Okay, Ahmed, you're right. We have really gone away from the topic, and we got a lot more callers, so I'm going to give you 1 minute. You have the air. We won't interrupt you. Make the best points you want in the next minute, and then we have to go to our next callers. Go right ahead.
Okay, so the key points that I wanted to make first and foremost, okay, that the difference between the Arab culture and that disdain for Judaism, or not even Judaism, for Israelism, Zionism, is completely different from Islamic, the preaching in the faith.
Okay, that's your first point. Second point.
I mean, if we want to refer back to the Quran, I would address all your readers to...
Okay, you've made your first point. What's your second point?
My second point. Refer them back into the Quran, Surah 109, which is Surah Al-Kafirun, which you're probably familiar with yourself, which states, in plain terms, I'm going to summarize it, that with you be your religion and with me be mine, and we'll go our ways, and we will see on the day of judgment who prevails.
Okay, very good. So your third point, and then we have to go.
And my third point would just be the several ayahs, the hundreds of ayahs that you read in the Quran, which read that the Christians and Jews are the people of the book, and they're your brothers in faith.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you so much, Ahmed, for calling. We hope that you will call back. And Brother David, you wanted some parting comments before the next caller.
Yes, our friend Ahmed, we'd invite you to call back either later in this program or later on in News and Views. But please think about this response, because the way you're interpreting the Quran is totally opposed to 14 centuries of Islamic interpretation, and is completely opposed to the method laid down in the Quran itself and in the Hadith. You are totally going against the Quran and the Hadith when you interpret the Quran the way you do. What did you do? You quoted Surah 109 to show what Islam's final position on dealing with unbelievers is. Is that Islam's final position on dealing with unbelievers? No. What's it say? To you be your religion and to me be my religion. Is that Muhammad's final marching orders on how you're to deal with unbelievers? No. This was revealed in Mecca when Muhammad was a persecuted prophet, and it's part of this is Islamic doctrine, that when you're in an area where you're outnumbered, you preach peace and tolerance. Later on, when you get some power to defend yourself, then you can fight defensive jihad. You can fight defensively. Later on, when you dominate an area, then it's offensive jihad. People have to convert or die. Now think about this. To you be your religion and to me be my religion. Anyone who follows a religion is okay. Let's look at some later revelations very briefly, and then we can move on. According to the Quran itself, Surah 572, certainly they disbelieve who say Allah, He is the Messiah, the son of Maryam. So if you say that Jesus is God, you are a disbeliever. You're a disbeliever if you believe in the deity of Christ. Now, just to confirm this, let's go to Surah 9:30. And the Jews say Uzair is the son of Allah, and the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah. These are the words of their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who disbelieve before. May Allah destroy them how they are turned away. So according to Surah 572 and according to Surah 9:30, Christians who believe in the deity of Christ, which by the way is me, which by the way is Pastor Joseph, which by the way is every Christian I know, we all believe in the deity of Christ.
That means that Jesus is God, if you don't understand that.
We are disbelievers. We are disbelievers according to the Quran. We're not believers. We're not believers. And what does it say about disbelievers from among the people of the book? People who are Jews or Christians and qualify as disbelievers. Read Surah 98:6. Surely those who disbelieve from among the followers of the book and the polytheists shall be in the fire of hell, abiding therein. They are the worst of creatures. Christians who believe in the deity of Christ are the worst of creatures. We are the worst of creatures, and we are going to hell because we are disbelievers because we believe in the deity of Christ. Now, finally, you said, well, where's the violence? Surah 9:29. Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by God and His apostle, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they are of the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Now, what does it say? To you be your religion and to me be my religion? Jews, Christians, everyone's okay? Everyone's going to heaven? What does this say? We're the worst of creatures. We're going to hell because of our beliefs. And you, as a Muslim, you said you're a dedicated Muslim. You, as a Muslim, are commanded to fight us until we are subjugated and humiliated. That's what your book says.
Yes.
So, my friend, I would encourage you not to pick and choose, because this is the method in America. In America, the method is go through the Quran, pick whichever verse you like best, and ignore all the other teachings. That's not how Islam commands you to interpret these verses. you're to go to Muhammad's final marching orders. What are his final commands with how you